Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Reperon, and today we're going to be doing another Deep Rock Galactic tier list. This is talking about the overclocks for the Bulldog Revolver for Gunner. I have tried all of these so far, and the Revolver has some pretty crazy overclocks. The Revolver is already a really strong secondary with how versatile it is and just how good it is with either of your primaries, at least currently. I imagine it will also be good with whatever they're planning on giving Gunner for their next primary weapon. So we're going to go through this from the clean overclocks all the way up to the unstable overclocks, talk about each of them, what they do, and then rate them appropriately. So let's begin with chain hit. Any shot that hits a weak point has a chance to ricochet into a nearby enemy by 75%. So if you hit an enemy in the head, or if the enemy has a weak spot like a Praetorian where it's its back butt pretty much, you shoot that and then it has a chance to flying off and hitting another enemy. That can be pretty good because it just makes it so you're dealing more damage with your revolver. You don't get to pick which target you're going to be hitting, which is a little bit unfortunate. You might be hitting a target that's nearly dead from like a driller's flame or something like that. But even so, you still have a chance of hitting something, and that just makes the revolver better. There's really nothing wrong with this overclock, and whenever I've tried it, I've been basically fine with it. I would say that the chain hit is either high B tier or low A tier. I'm going to put it in high B tier for the moment. Alright, up next is Homebrew powder, which even though this says that it's a clean overclock, this one's actually a balanced overclock. That has been changed. I believe it was a clean overclock at one time. But what Homebrew powder does is it randomizes your damage. You do between 75% of your damage up to 2 times your damage with the revolver. This is just pretty much a roll. Every time you fire your gun, you're rolling the dice and hoping to hit high. You could potentially hit low, and it's not as big a deal with the revolver because usually you'll be able to kill most enemies even with the reduction on it with just one shot to the weak spot. If you're hitting them in the body, maybe not, but then if you get a high roll on this and do higher damage, you potentially can kill with one shot to the body shot. It also depends on what build you're running with the revolver. But overall, Homebrew powder is actually pretty decent. I like it on the revolver quite well. It probably is one of the best guns to be using this with, because if you do high roll this, you can hit for a ton of damage. And even if you low roll it, it's not the end of the world. You're probably just going to have to make it up with another shot, which may also high roll or maybe low roll. Even if you get something like 3 low rolls in a row, you're still not missing out on that much damage. This isn't really one of my favorite overclocks with the revolver, but it's still not a bad one. And I'd probably put Homebrew in the low end of A tier. It's really good for those situations when you are constantly high rolling with it. Up next, we have Volatile bullets. Volatile bullets makes it so you do 300% more damage towards a burning enemy target, but at the cost of lowering your base damage with the revolver by 10. This one can be good if you're running with a team that also has fire-based weapons. So if you're running with Engineer that potentially has a grenade launcher with fire, or Scout with the double barrel with incendiary rounds in it, or of course the Driller with the flamethrower. You can also trigger this too if you're using like the Burning Hell overclock in your minigun, which is what I did when I was trying this, and it worked out pretty well then, because your revolver does hit like a truck then to anything that is burning. I think there was also a couple people playing Drillers throughout the games that I was playing, and they were using a flamethrower with this setup, and it was working out pretty well. If you have a team setup, or if you have a specific minigun setup for this, you can also use your incendiary grenades, but that's not going to be as consistent as having a gun that's able to produce fire. So Volatile bullets with the right circumstances is actually pretty good. If you're just running this without any sort of good way of getting fire, if you're only having to rely on like incendiary grenades, or maybe even the incendiary grenade launcher from an Engineer, it's going to be pretty underperforming. In that case, I'd probably put this in like C tier, where it still is usable in those situations, but not that great. If you are set up to run this with a team or with what you're doing, then I'd probably put it up into high A tier. Volatile bullets can be pretty good. Alright, up next we got 6-shooter. 6-shooter gives you 2 more magazine size, so you get 2 additional rounds in your gun, so you actually do have a 6-shot revolver. You get 6 more maximum ammo, which is great. And you get 2 more rate of fire, which is also pretty good. You can shoot it faster. However, this does make it so your reload is slower by 0.5 seconds, which isn't a huge deal. You're not going to notice it too much, especially if you're running like Born Ready or something like that, then you're probably never going to notice it. And it does increase your base spread by 1.5 times. So your gun is not as accurate. Now, you could run accuracy mods with the revolver, which is exactly what I did when I was playing 6-shooter, and I didn't notice that big of a difference as if I was not running accuracy mods. Even without accuracy mods, though, it's still not that bad. The revolver is still a pretty accurate gun. You can shoot it at fairly long range, even with 6-shooter, and hit pretty reliably. I do like this one to be able to burst down enemies. It works really well against large enemies if you can get behind them and just start shooting them. It works really great against small enemies. I like taking 6-shooter on either the minigun or the autocannon and just running around with it, as it being my gun out if there's anything to just shoot before like hordes show up. Or then I'll probably switch to my primary, or I'll switch to this while I'm waiting for like Born Ready to trigger on my autocannon. All around a pretty solid mod, and I really enjoy 6-shooter. I would also probably put this one into A tier. I think I'm going to put it above Volatile bullets because it doesn't have as much randomness to it, or I guess as much planning to it. You can just throw 6-shooter on pretty much any revolver build and it'll work pretty well. Alright, on to the unstable overclocks. Now we get into the real fun stuff. So first up we got elephant rounds. Elephant rounds doubles your damage and halves your spread per shot, which is pretty cool. You're pretty much got a sniper rifle then. You're hitting so hard with this, and it's so accurate that you can hit anything pretty much from across the map the same way you can with the Scouts M1000 classic rifle. It is very good. And this comes at a cost though. You have 12 less maximum ammo, which is a good amount for the revolver. You lose a shot in the revolver, so now from going from 4 shots you go to 3 shots. Your reload time is now slower by 0.5 seconds. Again, you're probably not going to notice that too much. The recoil of the revolver is increased by 2.5 times. That one you will notice because the revolver really wants to jump up with it. That's not such a big deal because you're probably not going to be trying to spam fire this, and if you are, enemies are very close to you and you don't really care about the recoil. You're probably going to be either taking your time and hitting things from a real long distance with this, or at least a generally decent distance, or you're going to be trying to fire it as fast as you can at very close range to kill whatever's trying to kill you. And you also have more spread per shot. Again, this doesn't really matter if you're firing it slowly or if things are right up in your face. This only really matters at a medium range where you're trying to fire somewhat quickly but still somewhat accurately. This can be a bit of an issue with the elephant rounds. Elephant rounds is probably one of the strongest overclocks though right now. It still is. I'm kind of still surprised that they haven't nerfed it more, because it just turns the revolver into a sniper rifle, and having a secondary sniper rifle when you can have big AoE guns like the autocannon or the minigun is pretty crazy. So elephant rounds is going right up into S tier. That thing is pretty crazy. And then we have magic bullets. So magic bullets makes it so that your bullets bounce off of hard surfaces, hitting nearby enemies like magic. This makes it pretty much so your bullets kind of ricochet, but not quite exactly the same mechanic as ricochet, I guess. Your overall damage is reduced by 20, so you lose out on maximum damage with the revolver. You get additional ammo by 8, which is pretty nice. Magic bullets, if you build for it, is actually really strong right now. It's kind of surprising. If you go with the explosive rounds, more ammunition, and the neurotoxin rounds all attached to your revolver, this thing is really strong against pretty much everything. The weird thing that you have to get used to though, especially if you're going from like elephant rounds, which is what I usually use, is that you're no longer really all that concerned with accuracy. You just have to hit near the enemy. It's essentially like using the grenade launcher then, where, yeah, if you hit the enemy, great. If you don't hit the enemy, well, you hit close enough to it, and that counts anyway. Magic bullets with all of that is actually really fun, and I really enjoyed it. I have taken magic bullets through the lethal difficulty too, and it worked just fine. Works well against, it works really well against enemies that try to hide around corners too, like menaces or web spitters or acid spitters. You can hit them very easily and you'll likely kill them with just one shot. Well, maybe not menaces, but the other ones you can hit very easily. You can hit flying enemies somewhat easily too, depending on how the cave is structured. With the neurotoxin rounds, you're also slowing down enemies and dealing damage over time, so it works really well against Praetorians or any other large bug. Magic bullets is actually really strong if you build the right way for it. I would probably also put magic bullets into S tier. They are so much fun to use and really strong right now. I wouldn't say that they're as strong or as useful as elephant rounds, but elephant rounds are more difficult to use than magic bullets. Magic bullets are much easier. So if you're having trouble with the revolver, just in general, I would recommend magic bullets, because now you no longer need to aim all that accurately. So it works really well if you also pair this with something like the autocannon and maybe go with carpet bomber or something, where you don't really need to hit enemies. You just need to hit close to enemies and it's good enough. So I guess I'm just going to leave the video off here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did and you're new here, be sure that you subscribe. That way you get notifications whenever I post these videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys so very much for watching it, and I will talk to all of you guys next time. Till then, stay cool and bye.